Hey everyone, just another little off-the-cuff update video of sorts for you here. I've been trying to do one of these every 3 or 4 months here. So in case you have not seen the last few of these I've done over the last year here, my father has dementia and we're in pretty late stage at this point. He is at what is internet popular stage 6 out of 7. Now, the medical world does not really acknowledge 7 stages of dementia. They have it boiled down to 5, if not 3. But yeah, just Google stage 6. That's where we're at here. So anyway, I guess in a way the big update is that there is no great update to give. But here is what has happened. So the last time I did one of these, I mentioned I was having horrible, horrible mood swings. And those have mellowed out to some degree. I still have them kind of here and there. But I have found that when I do have them, once I can get away, like for the evening, I just have to completely unplug. It's like I now know better to not try and do anything archive related. I think that was partly adding to it. But the emotional roller coaster, while still ongoing somewhat, it kind of got replaced by a physical one the last few months. So I have spent the last 2 months and change going through this terrible cycle where I get a really horrible cold and that becomes bronchitis, and then I get 80 to 90% better from the bronchitis and I just relapse. And that has happened 3 times now. And as of my making this, I am in that, I'm a little scared, I won't lie. I'm in that 80 to 90% better from bronchitis zone, and I'm just hoping that I can stay healthy enough that I don't relapse a 4th time. But, with all the stressors, and also we're heading into one of our lovely upper Midwestern winters here, I can't say I'm tremendously optimistic either. Indeed, as of my recording this, the wind's howling at 40 miles an hour outside, and it is about 15 degrees and still falling. And I think the high tomorrow, whatever the temperature is just after midnight tonight, I think is the high temperature for tomorrow. So like 10 degrees or whatever it's going to be by then. But anyway, so we're still dealing with the dementia thing. We are dealing with all the lovely things that come with the internet popular stage 6. So it's mood swings on his part, agitation, incontinence, and tripping back in time. He'll think it's like 1965. Sometimes he'll think he's a kid again, and he's afraid that his dad is going to be mad at him who died before I was born, that sort of thing. So, we've still got that going on. And I mentioned last time I was trying to, I guess you could say, kind of milk the good days, just, I guess, for my own peace of mind. Well, we had a real nasty run of bad ones after I made the last update. But that more recently has kind of leveled off. But at the same time, the last 2 years now, we've had a real nasty drop between Christmas and New Year's. And I should note, I am shooting this just before Christmas. This won't drop until right around New Year's or on New Year's. But this might be horribly outdated before I actually post this. So that's another thing that's going on. And I mentioned last time that really my greatest fear in life is that all this is still being measured in years as opposed to months or weeks. And I won't lie, it's been kind of my worst fears recognized time and time again. So as I stand at the edge of 2025 here, I have this feeling that it's felt like purgatory. There's no nice way to put this, both for him and for me and my mom as well. But I feel like we're just going to keep going with that. Now, also, when I mentioned that I've been having this recurring sick thing going on, I think I managed to give him kind of near pneumonia at one point, just from always having to be there and, close contact and stuff and cleaning him off and stuff. And, but he recovered from that really, really quickly, like less than 24 hours quickly. So he's still got quite an immune system, and indeed he's still mobile. He still can walk without a cane or a walker. Doesn't need a wheelchair, obviously. So it's just the brain that ain't working. So we do have some degree of shutdown. So obviously incontinence, but also his right hand is just kind of permanently crippled at this point. If he really tries and kind of focuses, he can kind of do stuff, but mostly it's just kind of this kind of noodle, like dinosaur hand sort of thing going on. And trying to think of what else here. Every day just kind of runs together into a big blur here. I mentioned last time that my days keep getting longer, so that is still holding true. So I'm starting with him between 6 and 6:15, 5 days a week, most weeks. And on a good day, Mom will get home from work around 4:30. But I'm still trying to like make dinner and kind of get everybody settled and trying to make sure that he doesn't put up a fight, trying to change into pajamas and stuff like that at the end of the day. And so on my best days, it's 6 p.m. by the time I'm starting to really do archive stuff. I mean, I've got my laptop with me on pretty much any given day, and when I can get away with it, I try and sneak in a little work here and there. But usually I've already put in, we'll just say 12 hours by the time I make archive. And so as such, I think we're still looking at a whole lot of Ben's junk videos. I mean, as it stands, prior to all this, I can make a Ben's junk in 2 days. 1 day of research and shooting, and then 1 day of editing and getting everything uploaded. But now it's more like 5 days. And I'm trying to confine my recording to mostly just Friday and Saturday. Friday night and whenever Saturday, usually at night. And if I am recording Sunday night through Thursday night, I'm trying to just confine it to small tasks. Like I'm working on a new episode, and that episode just has an intro and an outro for the box, stuff here. And, okay, I can knock that out pretty quickly and still get to bed at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Trying to get to bed around 8:30. Getting up that, real early and dealing with Dad real early. I should note, for the last 20 years, I have gotten up prior to this summer at about 7:15 every morning. You don't just unlearn 20 years of getting up at the same time every morning, especially when you are truly not a morning person. So, those adjustments are still going on, and we still have our periods. It seems like Mom and I kind of go, out and back towards each other. Thankfully, we're not too in sync with each other, so if one of us is having really terrible compassion fatigue, as it's known, look it up. Invariably, the other one is not. So, there is a certain kind of really warped rhythm to all this. Otherwise, what's another thing that happened here? Back in October, as I was going through my first round of the cold and all that, I largely was trying kind of just one last time to see if we qualified for any assistance with the VA and private insurance and Medicare, and that was 3 weeks down the toilet there. We didn't qualify for a damn thing, so no farther along on that front. And indeed, I think we get 60 days home hospice if we are to get to end stage, truly end stage, where the patient is bedridden and it's... there's only two outcomes to end stage dementia. Well, there's one outcome, but there's only two routes to it. They both lead to death, obviously. But look those two up. One involves being on machines for a very long time, and the other is as close to legalized Dr. Kevorkian type stuff as you can get in the U.S. So I think that's all the big stuff here. It's just, it's purgatory. There is no nice way of putting it. And it just seems to be kind of my lot in life. But I want to try and keep some sort of groove. I have found that My mood stabilizes a little more if I am just doing even a little archive stuff most days, just to have something resembling a professional life and not entirely having to, I guess you could say, try and live two people's lives, trying to, after a certain point, you have to live, if you're the caregiver, you have to live the patient's life too, so to speak. So trying to run your own stuff and trying to, constantly keep the other person moving along. And like I mentioned, we have had some real nasty days, but nothing too prolonged yet. It hasn't been as bad as it has been in the past, but yeah, in a way, my greatest fears are being recognized in that this could still be years going on here. I've read where people plateau at stage 6 and live for several more years. So it's kind of out of my hands if you're more spiritual. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut up now. I think you've got a good idea of what's going on here. I'll talk to you again soon.